Hi, it's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll. Look at this. Foliage all brown and ratty. What's not is nipped, twisted, and curled. The garden decor in this pot has been broken and glued back together almost as many times as a hard wind has blown. But look at this. What's the difference? The sun is shining through it. Oh, to let God's sun shine through us. Look what I just found for seed. And I can see the little black seeds in this too. I'm also still clipping zinnias for seed. There's still some beautiful ones to get. And I'm not getting them all because these still look so good here, and I have some anyway that I'm going to leave them for a while later, but I'll probably, as well as these, but I'll probably come back out a little later and get these too if it's where I can. But I just couldn't take them today. They're still so bright and beautiful. And my cousin is still planning to come. I don't know for sure if he will get to or if any of this will be left. It gets really iffy when the weather starts getting as cold as it has been. We've been threatened with frost several nights, but so far we haven't gotten it. So that's great, just that we didn't get our freeze in October this year. I just thought of that today because I've kind of put the garden to bed, put some plastic around things, and it's not totally winterized yet, but I'm getting there, and so I've kind of given up on that part of it, but yet I still come out and look just because it's there and just because it's beautiful, and maybe it'll still be beautiful when he gets to come and see it. At least some of it will be, maybe. So the tree is up. The divinity is in packages, except for these few little pieces that just are still drying out. For some reason I dropped them too soon and they just stayed shiny. But they're not shiny now, so maybe they'll still be edible. And I'm drying out my seeds. Look at these beautiful zinnia seeds that I gathered this morning. And now I'm fixing to make peanut brittle. So now the peanut brittle is made. I always think of my girlfriend's mother, who is also my friend. She's a wonderful, wonderful lady, but she's the first one I saw making peanut brittle, and I've thought of her every time I've made it ever since. Hattie, yours was always the best. Look at this. This is that little Bells of Ireland that I put in there just to fill it out, and it's bloomed, and it'll put me down a little seed, and they may come back in this same little pot next spring, along with the pretty the daisy mums and the beautiful pansies that I used to leave out of my garden because we don't have long enough time where it's cool except winter, and I'm not out here in the winter. I got to give it a rest. But you know, I have a friend, and he comes out to my little garden tours at the end of the season, and he told me one time, actually he used to be the minister of the Church of the Nazarene here in our town, and he told me, I think when you get to heaven, God's going to put you in charge of gardening. And I know he meant it as a compliment when he said it, and I appreciated it a little bit. But I thought, oh no, God surely wouldn't do that to me, as hard as this labor is, and how that I'd have to go to heaven and do this too. I just want to walk around and enjoy it. And then one day it dawned on me that's the way it'll be when we garden in heaven. There won't be all those things that came because of the curse. There will be no more curse, and it'll be wonderful to be in a garden in heaven. I hope he's right. I hope I get to well, maybe not be in charge, but that'd be all right too, as long as I got to roam around in there and feel his presence. That's what I love about being out here in the first place, is just feeling the love of Jesus Christ and seeing nature all around and watching it change. It changes so fast. It's like watching a little child grow up, it's just such a short time that they're small, and the next thing you know, you're looking up at a man or at a woman, and that's that same little person that you used to hold and kiss and hug and just feel that great love for, and know that they feel it back for you. But now they're a man or a woman, and that same love is there, but our agendas have changed, and they have responsibilities, and they don't have time for our nonsense. But it's just so wonderful, and all that love is usually still there when you build it in a child. When they get old, I feel that love. I bet you do too. But it's wonderfully amazing to see how these little plants would love to just keep going now that it's cool enough. And oh, wouldn't I just love to keep coming out here and not having to water, at least not every day, or maybe not even every other day, and just come out and enjoy all around us. We would love to keep going when we've got something good going. But it changes. It all just continuously changes and changes and changes. Look at these little non-ending petunias, and yet they will end. It'll be dark and black, or deep brown, gray. It won't be pretty. All that beautiful color that I love. So, I love color. That's one of the wonderful things about the garden, is just seeing all that wonderful color that God made. But it will all be gone, and we'll have to start over again in the spring if we want to see another garden. And I'm going to try. We'll see how long I'll last. But before we know it, all the beauty will be gone. But, it's a good thing when that hot summer is about to melt us down, to know that soon that too will change, and we'll have some cool weather that we can survive in. Look at this little columbine. You can tell this one in the center is new. He's putting up its fall growth right there, and all around it, this is Alyssum, the compacta perennial Alyssum, and this will be going in the spring. This will be one big mass of beautiful tiny yellow blooms. So it's just gorgeous in the spring, and I love it. It is a perennial. It will die back some, but it won't totally die back before it will go ahead and stay and be ready to go in the spring. And I was thinking of this columbine, because look how beautiful this foliage is. And it'll be there in the spring too. But even after the beautiful blooms of the columbine have gone, this pretty little foliage is a wonderful plant to just fill out. If you just need a filler plant, it works, because it stays pretty all summer long. I'm not even sure that it dies back in the winter, but I think it does. But it'll be early spring when it comes back to life and even begins to bloom. And then, of course, these beautiful little pansies. that I told you I didn't used to even want in my garden because I didn't have time to enjoy them because I'm not been out here in the winter. But I've learned that they do have a place in my garden. They're wonderful, beautiful little flower that you can depend on, because not only will it fill up for this late fall when everything else is dying, it will stay right there in that beautiful it'll be beautiful even in the winter time. Sometimes they bloom even in the snow. They're so wonderful. And even though I don't come out and enjoy them a whole lot then, in early spring, they will be there to greet me. And they'll stay. They will stay long enough for the other plants to begin to fill out. And then when that heat begins to come, they will disappear. They might be the smartest little plant of all, after all. This is that beautiful little bat flower that's purple and red, and I don't know, I may have missed my opportunity to get seed off of it. I can't really figure out where the seed is. I've got to do that though. I've got to try and save some of the seed from this, because it's a beautiful little plant. Lots of times it will drop and the seed will come up volunteer, which is my favorite way of it doing it, because otherwise sometime I don't get it started from seed. But I'm going to try. And then of course this is that beautiful red African daisy. And look, even the little toad lilies that went away are trying to come back out, because the weather is nice enough that they're going to enjoy it a little bit before it freezes. And I think we're up again for another chance of a freeze in the middle or so, end of next week. But we got to enjoy some of November while the plants are still here before they freeze out. Today is the 6th of November. This little foliage is from the Hearty Geranium, and a lot of it is still green, but this is one of the little plants that just loves to turn the pretty fall colors. They can't wait to put that fall clothing on. Look, I just realized that some of those little red African daisies are actually still blooming on this side. We just want to keep going when conditions get just right where we can. Which reminds me that I've got pictures to scan, and I've got movies to make for my sisters and my baby girl, and I definitely want to get that done while I have time. I hope that I'm not gone from this earth and living in heaven, looking down, wishing I'd have got that done. I hope I get it done before that time should come in my life. I hope this picture will remind me to trim back some of this little mum and some of this one right here. I told you I'd get this one. It's a little more orange. Look, it's kind of got pink and orange together. Isn't it beautiful? It's the 9th of October, and there's so much fall beauty out today as I look around. We still haven't had a hard freeze or a frost, and so there's still annuals in the garden, This is just the way I really wanted it to be. Of course, I wish we had even more time to just enjoy it, but I'm just going to this morning, and I'm going to get some of these beautiful pictures of fall so that you can enjoy it too. The Alyssum always does best in the fall, and though it didn't do what I wanted it to this year and just really shine, it still has little spots of beauty in the garden. All the sedums are turning their pretty yellow colors with touches of orange in them. And of course the mums are just everywhere with their beautiful color. The weeping willow is turning its pretty yellow color. And the grasses are just aglow. Beautiful color. This is one of the peony little bushes that I haven't clipped back yet, and it's turning a beautiful golden color too. There's a bit of nip in the air, and I think at the end of this week we are supposed to go ahead and have that freeze. So I keep saying all this will be gone and it will, but isn't it beautiful right now? And it's wonderful that God let us get to enjoy it. It's been a while since we've really enjoyed any fall beauty because it's came before the colors got a chance to change. And I never did get a chance to get this started somewhere else, and I think it's a little late now, so that will be a job for the spring. Fall beauty everywhere, and we still have impatiens blooming. And of course, petunias. That's my idea of a beautiful fall, is to have the beautiful annuals still out in the garden, and also all the pretty fall color. And just that mix of them all together is makes it so beautiful. And the beautiful little, even blooming in the winter, pansies. Right now it just feels like the garden has it all when it comes to beauty. It just doesn't last long enough, but does any season of our life that we love so much. These are more of the Hearty Geraniums. This is the beautiful fall color that they give us. I hope to remember to go ahead and thin this out a little bit, or divide it and put some of this in another spot. It's just so pretty. Whereas most of the sedums turn a pretty golden yellow, this one just keeps right on going with that color and just goes yellow, pink, orange, and it's just so beautiful. I need some of this in one of my hanging baskets. And this is one of the hostas, and the hostas also have some pretty color for fall. You can see I've been out here and gotten these little zinnias. They may put me on a couple more there though that I can use for seed. But look at this pretty pot. Still green and healthy right in the midst of all the fall colors around it. This is the one that I put the well, I can't think of the name of it. I'm trying to say purslane moss, which we all know that's not purslane moss. That is parsley. So this is the one I put the parsley in, and it is shining this morning as much or more than it has all summer long. The beautiful black and blue salvia, and look at this pretty fennel or phenol. But even as I'm talking about all the beauty of the fall colors, we can see that some of it is going totally away. It will not be long before it's all gone. So there are definitely bare spots in the garden too. This little sugar shack bush, I think everything practically is off of it. All the leaves are gone. It does still have some of the little dried button flowers on it. And this pretty pinkish red plant is a well, I cannot think this morning at all, but oh, this is one of the big beautiful dogwood trees. That's what it is, even though right now it's just a tiny little thing. But it lived, and it lived through that hard freeze that we had early on. So I think it's got its roots down enough maybe that it will make it this time. I have tried several of them, at least 4, maybe more, but this one seems to be making it for me. Maybe someday it will actually be a big beautiful tree. I think it's just beginning to dawn on me that God did give me those few extra days that I wanted so badly. That we really did have some beautiful fall weather, and that I did get a chance to enjoy it. It's such a short time and such a busy time that we almost miss it, but it was long enough this time that we didn't totally miss it. And here it is for us to enjoy. It's just almost unbelievable. All the seasons put together. There's new fall growth that'll be there in the spring. There's beautiful things still left from the summer, and there's the beautiful fall color. Today is November the 10th. Happy birthday, Shane. That's my nephew there. And I just wanted to say that, you know, my cousin once said that green, if you look around, you'd realize that green is God's favorite color, probably. So I'm just going to have to say that his next to the favorite color just might be yellow, because there is a golden glow over all the world, not just the garden, although there definitely is that beautiful yellow gold glow in the garden. But when we went down to breakfast, I noticed on the way home that there's a beautiful golden glow all over all the area around us. It's just too bad that it only lasts for such a short time. But actually, life itself just lasts for such a short time. This is my neighbor's tree, not mine, but look at that glorious array of gold. So I was thinking that I have most everything covered and everything brought in that I'm going to bring in. And today I went out and covered my faucets because I probably won't do any more watering until spring now. then I thought, well, what about my little vines? You know, they would just die out here, and I'm not sure that they won't just die if I bring them in, but I did go ahead and get just the root, and I clipped off all the tops of them, and I put just the root in a pot, and I'm going to see if I can save those through the winter inside and bring them back out again. And I did not have time to look up the answer on Google, but if I get time later on in the season, I may go ahead and look and see if that's a possibility. But I believe these are sometimes house plants, so I'm going to see if that won't work. I'm going to give it my all, and lots of times we just have to do things through trial and error. Then maybe we can tell someone else what we learned. But I've got to give it up again for the day. I say that, and then I realize there's other things that I do have to do. So I have the faucets covered. I have not all my hoses picked up, but I did pick up some of them, and I took the end caps off the others, and I will let them probably just stay out through the winter, and hopefully next spring they'll start back up for me. But I'm going to have to let it all go. It's just going to happen. Winter just does come. We can just be as ready as we can be, and that's really all we can do. So I think I've just about got it to that point. And I'm about ready to let it go, other than I'll come out and see if there's some more glorious color before it's all taken away. I will try to get that for you and try to get a chance to enjoy it myself. And oh, what a wonderful time it's been in the garden, even though it's been rough. Anybody that gardens know there's some rough periods to gardening. It's not just all pretty soft bloom and beautiful color, but that is a part of it. So we just do whatever else we have to do as much as we can, so we can enjoy those beautiful blooms and all the wonderful, beautiful color that God puts in the garden. And I've told you before, but you know, I used to think that God just made those things. You know, he just spoke them into existence, and he did, the plants and the flowers. But the garden, if you'll look in the Bible, it says, and God planted a garden eastward in Eden. And I'll also come out to get some more seed. There's a few more that I'll want to pick out to take inside for maybe next year. If not, I'll have them in case I need them, and just not let them just totally go away without any chance of ever shining again. Please be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel.